Hey, I'm just going to make this video. I'm not going to be trying to bring any attention to it, you know. A few people that kind of interested in seeing it, I know they'll come by my page and see this video and shit, right? So, the larger scale of what this, the point of making this video is that I want to show you, like, how stupid Mattsftr is. He's a fraud on every level. He lies to himself. He's a fool. He doesn't care about anything that actually matters in the world. I mean, I'm saying, this dude's like one of the lowest grade intellectual people as you can be. He's every form of the victim slave that's been brainwashed by society. He's everything. He's all of the worst traits of what I see in human beings is perfectly illustrated by Mattsftr. So that's what I'm going to show you here, right? See up there it says, Johnny Depp won. Oh, yay. Oh, my hero, Johnny Depp. Now we can go play butt pirates in the Caribbean together. Oh, yay, Johnny, Johnny. So here, let's listen to little this idiot.
I'm at work, but I don't care. I have to make this video. Finally, a win for abused men. I sincerely hope that this actually helps abused men all over the world.
It's disgusting. That these words that I'm just going to show you now that this loser, what a loser, man. Okay, so now let me show you some other shit, right? So let's go here. I want you to see this here. This is a movie Johnny Depp did. Okay, see the Ninth Gate with the upside down cross. So what's the movie about? Okay, Johnny Depp unlocks the gates to hell in Roman Polanski's thriller, The Ninth Gate, directed by Roman Polanski, okay? Unlocks the gates to hell. Okay, Johnny Depp. Okay, this is who we're talking about and shit, right? So now, Roman Polanski, there's a lot to talk about Roman Polanski. So let me just show you a couple things. This is the reason Roman Polanski, he's not even allowed in America because he's got a warrant out for his arrest. He's a wanted criminal in America and shit. Why is he a wanted criminal in America? Because he raped a 13-year-old girl. He drugged her and raped her.
When he wanted to get into jacuzzi, I knew I was in trouble. Like, wait, this is not what he's supposed to be doing. And I didn't know what was going to happen, but I knew whatever was on his mind was not a good thing.
It was the moment Samantha Guymer's life changed forever.
Were you frightened at that point?
That's the moment. Then I realized something was wrong. I was frightened. I didn't know what to do. And I just knew then, I was like, oh, this guy, like, he wants to get his hands on me. Oh my God, what am I going to do?
Okay, so as you talk about Roman Polanski, and what actually happened is Roman Polanski, he had this girl and he was supposed to be doing, I think they show a young picture of her here in a second. Let me play that. There she is. Okay? Just so you know, she was a 13-year-old girl, right? And Roman Polanski was supposedly trying to do some kind of, he was saying they were doing a photo shoot with her, right? He was doing some kind of photo shoot with her, right? And then what I understand from this case is he drugged her, he gave her a Quaalude, right? He drugged her with the Quaaludes. Then, like what she said, they got into the hot tub and she knew that he was wanting to have sex with her. And so at that point, like, I don't know the super details of the thing. He's charged with rape, but I don't know if it's just because she's a young girl, but he drugged her. So it's rape. He drugged her and had sex with her. Well, no matter how you look at it and stuff, and she's 13, it's rape. He fucking raped a 13-year-old girl. Drugged and raped. Roman Polanski drugged and raped a girl. He got arrested for it. They made a deal. I know something about the case. I know he had made a deal and he like fulfilled his obligation. There was like a deal that he made, but what happened was when the news and the public heard about the deal that he made, he basically got a slap on the wrist. Then the people like were up in uproars about it, and they forced like the prosecutor to like renege on the contract that he did or whatever. So there was something like that, and so then they recharged Polanski with like they were going to really charge him with rape and send his ass to prison and shit, right? And then Polanski fled the country. To this day, he's still a fugitive, right? He's still a fugitive, but as you can see, like in the Johnny Depp movie, what I show you, he still makes movies. He's still making movies, okay? This movie was in 2000. Not only does he still make movies, he still gets the elite Hollywood people to go over, because I think he's in France or something like that. He still gets elite Hollywood people to perform in his movies for him. And what are his movies about? Unlocking the gates of hell and shit, right? They're all these satanic, fucking the worst of the worst kind of fucking satanic movies and shit, right? So Johnny Depp doesn't care that Polanski drugged and raped a 13-year-old girl, that he's a criminal from fucking American justice, that he's wanted in America. Johnny Depp don't care about that. And he goes, works with them. Oh, let me go over there and make a movie with him about unlocking the gates of hell, because, oh, that's such a good message for the public. Oh, we really got to do this, you know? And then he does that, and then you get this kind of idiot. Oh, Johnny.
I'm at work, but I don't care. I have to make this video. Finally, a win for abused men. I sincerely hope that
he's so abused. Johnny Depp's so abused. Oh, boy, they really got to him and shit, right? While he's off gallivanting in France and shit, making satanic fucking movies with a fucking convicted child fucking rapist in America. Oh, you're so Johnny. Oh, let's cheer 3 cheers for Johnny. Hip hip hooray and shit, right? Hip hip hooray, Johnny. I'm saying with this scumbag idiot. What a fucking loser you are, dude. So now, this is the movie Wolf of Wall Street. This is what is being known as like the Quaalude scene, right? So, like I said, I've never taken Quaaludes, but I understand what drugs are and shit, right? And so, this is the kind of stuff that you would think about like Bill Cosby and shit, like drugging and raping women and shit, right? So, what I understand is that Polanski gave that 13-year-old girl a Quaalude, okay? So, this is the Quaalude scene from the movie Wolf of Wall Street to give you an idea of what fucking Quaaludes are.
After 15 years in storage, the lemons had developed a delayed fuse. It took 90 minutes for these little fuckers to kick in, but once they did, pow. I mean, I had skipped the tingle phase and went straight to the drool phase. These little bastards were so strong, I discovered a whole new phase, the cerebral palsy phase.
Now, that's what the fucking dude, Polanski, gave that 13-year-old girl and then had sex with her. I would say he drugged and raped her. I think it's safe to say he drugged and raped her. And you see, that's why when he's saying that these have been in storage for 15 years, because they outlawed these pills. From what I understand, these Quaaludes, they're outlawed and shit. You can't get that drug and shit, because look at what they do. Right? That's what Polanski gave that girl, that 13-year-old girl, Roman Polanski. So, Roman Polanski. Let's look a little bit more about Roman Polanski. This is a movie that Roman Polanski had made just before the Manson murders. This movie came out very shortly before the Manson murders, right? It's a movie called Rosemary Baby. Like I said, he made that movie with Johnny Depp about unlocking the gates to hell. That's the kind of movies of what Roman Polanski does. This is the kind of guy that might fucking sacrifice his own family and shit to gain fucking friendships with Satan and shit. Weird shit, right? This is a movie called Rosemary Baby. This is made by Roman Polanski. This is one of his movies. This is who this fucking guy is. Now, the basis of this movie is Satan has come up into the real world and impregnated a woman so he could have a child with that woman. This is the woman right now. She doesn't know what the fuck's going on. Like in the movie when it's happening, it's a really weird scene. She's being raped by Satan and she's like, wait, what? She's like, this is really happening. Like I've seen the movie one time, so I have a little recollection of what takes place in the movie. But that's what's happened. She's being raped in the movie by Satan. And then she's like, this isn't a dream. This is really fucking happening, right? So then here she is now. See, this is the baby over here with the upside down cross thing, right? This is Rosemary Baby. Here's a scene from it.
He has his father's eyes.
What are you talking about? Guy's eyes are normal. What have you done to him, you maniac?
Satan is his father, not Guy. He came up from hell and begat a son of mortal woman. Hail, Satan!
Hail, Satan!
Satan is his father, and his name is Adrian. He shall overthrow the mighty and lay waste their temples. He shall redeem the despised and wreak vengeance in the name of the burned and the tortured.
Jesus Christ. I mean, holy shit. That's hard to fucking watch that movie and shit, right? It's even a little part. Like I said, that's Roman Polanski movie. This Roman Polanski. So then after that, Roman Polanski, after he makes that movie, what happens to Roman Polanski? His wife is Sharon Tate, who's slaughtered in the fucking by the Manson family. The Manson murders, okay? That's Sharon Tate. The Tate LaBianca, that's like the other names, the Manson murders, the Tate LaBianca. And remember, Sharon Tate is pregnant with the baby when she gets slaughtered by the fucking Manson family. Her husband is Roman Polanski. All right? Now, look at these movies of what Roman Polanski is making. Don't you think it's possible that somebody like that would have been willing to sacrifice his own wife for some kind of bigger agenda of what he's doing? Right? So this is a guy talking to Joe Rogan. This is a guy, I guess his name's Tom O'Neill. He wrote a book about the Manson murders and stuff like that. So I'm going to play a couple little clips from this interview he's doing with Joe Rogan and shit.
Found it and took it. Vince told me originally off the record that the tape wasn't of Roman and Sharon making love. It was Sharon being forced to have sex with two men against her wishes. And he said Roman was the one who was making it because you could hear him in the background. Okay, so that's one of the things. He says that, he tells a bigger story, but like the police found a tape in the house, right? And then, but Roman Polanski wasn't present. That's one thing. He's got the perfect alibi. He's out of the country when the fucking murders happen, right? He's not even in the country. Perfect alibi. He's going to sacrifice his family and shit, right? But they said they found a tape. The cops had found a tape and they had watched it, and the tape was Sharon. What he was just describing was Sharon having to be forced to have sex with these two men, and Roman Polanski's the one filming it and shit, right? This is the guy we're talking about. This is Roman Polanski and shit, right? And then he says that the cops put the tape back, and then so nobody ever actually knew. Like Roman might not even known if they ever seen it or whatever. They said they just put the tape back. Nothing, ever came up. So this is the guy we're talking about, Roman Polanski. Look at in the situations where he's willing to put his wife and shit, right? Maybe the fucking kid wasn't even Roman Polanski's kid. That's why he's willing to sacrifice the kid and shit, right? We don't know what's actually going on. So then this is another part of this interview. He's going to be talking about like the official reasons, like why did the Manson murders happen and why did it happen at that house? Like what was the real reason why this stuff happened? The youth movement.
Why do you think they targeted that house though? So J. Edgar Hoover, when he had the COINTELPRO operation, he wrote an LA agent wrote a memo to Hoover saying what we have to do. This is when they were mostly battling the Panther, trying to neutralize the Panthers in LA, was go after the whites, the elite whites, the Hollywood whites who were supporting the Panthers. There was something called the White Panther Party that began in LA 67 or 68. Jane Fonda, Warren Beatty, Cass Elliot. Those three were actually under surveillance by the FBI. They were part of this group, Donald Sutherland, and they were basically Leonard Bernstein. They supported the Panthers. They raised money. So in this one memo, which I think it was the winter of 68, I got the date in the book, said that what we have to make the whites think is that when the revolution finally happens, when the blacks rise up, they'll be lined up with everybody else and slaughtered. So, if you look at that memo, that was part of their operation, which was they did it by sending letters, making, the whites scared. So that, I hate to speculate, but I think people will draw that conclusion if you read the book, that this could have been a Chaos or COINTELPRO operation to turn, the world, the nation, the culture against hippies, the left wing, the Black Panthers. And they picked that house because it was high profile, because Sharon Tate was in it?
It actually, not because Sharon Tate was there. Well, her and Polanski, and that's one thing that Tarantino, I don't think he showed the parties at the house. They were like the social center of Hollywood. It wasn't just the movie people, it was the music people. Terry Melcher and Candy Bergen lived there for 2 years before. That was a party house. Everybody went in and out of there. It kind of represented elite of movies, music, Hollywood, white people. So that would have been a very high profile
place to hit.
Target, yeah.
Because all the people in that community, in the Hollywood community, would then also be aware that that was a spot that they had been to.
Yeah.
All these high-profile people had been there.
Yeah, it's like Joan Didion wrote in her book, The White Album, that the morning she learned about the murders, and she knew most of the victims, she goes, I knew that the 60s had ended, they were over. I mean...
Okay, so... That's the house. It's not just that they picked a random house and stuff. It's when you see the operation of what was taking the people that were coming around that house, and you understand the effects of what that murder had on society. That's the end of the 60s, man. The hippie revolution's dead. The Black Panther movement's dead. Like all of that, getting the support from all the Hollywood elites and their movement. I mean, it was a big deal. It's not just this random thing. So like what they're saying is that like Manson would be like one of these guys that's like an MK Ultra, like under mind control, and he's been trained by the fucking CIA how to control other people, but so then, all the stuff so he could turn them into the assassins to go create that fucking scene of all of that stuff, what's occurring. But now look at though, it's Roman Polanski though. It's not just coincidence, it's Roman Polanski's wife who's murdered and she's pregnant. Like that's what I'm saying. What's actually going on here and shit, right? We're talking about that Polanski. Could Polanski actually have set his wife up in that house because he knew that the end game was she was going to be slaughtered so that they could do this big thing about what they're doing with getting rid of the hippies and getting rid of like the peace movement, right? Because Polanski's all into Satan and shit. This is like tributes to Satan. That's what you do. To get in with Satan, what do? You sacrifice your wife and your unborn child and shit, right? It's a fucking ritual fucking thing, right? But Matt's all, oh, Johnny, it's okay, Johnny, that you're working with Roman Polanski because you're our hero.
I don't care. I have to make this video. Finally, a win for abused men.
Yeah, abused men. Right, Johnny Depp, who's working with Roman Polanski, who drugged and raped a 13-year-old girl, and Johnny Depp's gonna go fucking make movies with him about unlocking the fucking gates to hell and shit, right? Oh, Johnny Depp's such an abused guy. He sure cares about the people's rights and shit. He's so abused and shit, right? That's what I'm saying, this, what a loser. Now, what's the larger picture of what's actually going on here? The in-game stuff of the next move, the stuff that fucking Mattsftr would never, ever be able to see. Now, why, like they said, like in the Manson murders, that's the end of the 60s, okay? The Johnny Depp thing, that's the end of the Me Too movement. Isn't that how it's being titled and shit, right? Okay, well, if it's the end of the Me Too movement, what it is they're moving towards this, they want the man is going to be president. They want men. They know that men need to be the president. Men need to be authoritarian people. They want the woman in their place, just being like the whores, to be used and abused and shit. That's really what's fucking going on and shit, right? But the bigger picture of, well, what is this going on? What's this next move? Who's going to benefit from all of this fucking chaos and shit of what's going on?
Visiting his hometown, actor Matthew McConaughey continues to pay his respects to the families affected by the Uvalde shooting. The family of Mike De Rodriguez posted this photo.
Matthew McConaughey from Texas, actually a resident. They're saying he's from Uvalde. Okay, so what it looks like to me, why is, like I said, the reason I was showing you that Manson, why was it that house? Why was it done in that fashion, right? Why was it Uvalde? Why was it so many kids who were fucking murdered and shit, right? Because Matthew McConaughey is from that area, and they're all Mexican people. So what do you get from this now? Now the Me Too movement's dead, so you're gonna have a man, right? So they're gonna want to promote a man. Matthew McConaughey's from Texas, right? I heard him already talking about that he was thinking about getting into the political arena and shit, right? And becoming like a senator of Texas or the governor, whatever it is. There was something about that he's going to run for some kind of political office in Texas. Now, Matthew McConaughey is good looking. Women are going to like him, right? So you get the end of the Me Too movement, so people are not thinking, oh man, you guys are doing everything, you're abusing us. No, so they put a man there that women like. Their women want to vote for that man. They're attracted to him. So if you have Matthew McConaughey running for election in Texas, he's from Texas, he's from Uvalde, right? He's there honoring the slain children. This is why the reports that they talk about Uvalde, that police chief guy withheld the people from going in on an active shooter, which everybody knows. The rules for an active shooter is, everybody knows this now. This is all well documented. When there's an active shooter, the police go in and confront the shooter, because as soon as you go confront the shooter stops shooting the kids and the innocent people, and the shooter now has to engage with the cops. And then you have that engagement, and the cops are going to overpower him, and they're going to kill him. That's what they know, that this is how it works. That they know that the best chance you got for an active shooter, you go in and force that guy now to confront the cops so that he stops targeting the children. But what they say is that the police chief guy, who has just been elected to some kind of fucking political office in that town now too, right? So they're saying that he withheld the people from going in. Why did he do that? Because they want the kids to be slaughtered. They wanted the mass body fucking count. That's what they wanted to happen. So that Matthew McConaughey, who's a resident from that area, can go in and look like, oh, such a good Hollywood, he's such a good hometown hero from Hollywood and shit, right? This will gain him favor now, because he's already good looking. He's going to get the women's vote, right? He's gonna get the women's vote. He's a huge fucking Hollywood actor. He's gonna get a lot of votes that way. Now he's being you're showing him with the connection to Uvalde. That's going to gain him a lot of attention from the Mexican population. Those are big populations that are going to be in Texas, which he'll be able to gain favor from those populations, and he'll be able to win an election in Texas, which is one of the big states in America, which is more like a Republican state and shit, right? They got all the gun laws. It's Texas. I mean, it's Texas, right? So they want Texas. It's like one of those swing states. If they can switch Texas to Democrat, right, then the Democrats figure that they can control all of the political, like the big elections and stuff. They can control the stuff now, because if they can get in there and get Texas, if they can control Texas, they can control the country and shit. This is one of those fucking states. This is how they're going to do it with a hometown Texas boy. And then what happens is, after he gets that position, then they can raise him up to be he can be a presidential candidate. And this is where it's all going. This is why I say, this is why Uvalde was targeted. It was specifically targeted. It's not some random guy. The kid obviously must have been under the influence of some kind of brainwash fucking situation. Something happened where he was going there to slaughter fucking kids. He's programmed to do it. This is why it's that area of why it's occurring at that, and that's why it's school children. That's why it had to be the children, so they could tug at your heartstrings. Oh, the children, the innocent children. And now they got like sports teams. We got to end gun violence, and they're bringing this movement that they're building and they're building. And who's going to be a beneficiary of it? It's going to be Matthew McConaughey. This is the guy that they're setting up to take advantage of that, so he can gain political advantage in the fucking political arena in Texas and shit. They'll put him into political office there. They'll say, oh, he must really care. He's such a huge actor. He can make millions and millions of dollars in Hollywood and stuff. But no, he decided to give all that up so that he could become in the political reason and really care and fight for the people. It's bullshit. It's all a setup. It's all a scam. You fucking motherfuckers don't care about anything about what's really going on, especially this piece of shit. Yay, Johnny! Oh, my hero, Johnny! Oh, I love Johnny! What a fucking loser you are, Matt. That's what I'm saying. You are the problem. You're the worst of the worst. You fucking do everything of what they've programmed you to do. That's why when you were confronted with the reality of dealing with my Michael Jackson story, you can't fucking deal with it, because you're not programmed to fucking deal with it, because they've got control over you, just like they got control over all these other stupid motherfuckers. You are the fucking problem.